wait for the adverts to clear. I don't know if everyone else has adverts, but I do. Whew. Okay. Let's wait for this advert to clear and then I'll start up. Okay, welcome to Formula 7 round number 8 in Hungary, Tier 3 Season 12, powered by Sim Racing Setup. We're here in Hungary today for the first race of the today in F7R. I am Emily today for Tier 3. We have a wet start to qualifying then in this session is a short qualifying session followed by a 50% 35 lap race. Shortened so I can make it, so I won't be able to speak today. Morning John, hope you're well. Morning everyone. With 18 drivers on the grid today, we are missing an Aston Martin and I believe a Haas. Yeah, an Aston Martin and a Haas to be honest. Sorry fella. I was told to. Okay, so let's keep an eye on drivers on our laps. So it is intermediate tyres to start with. If you look at the tyres, intermediate tyres. First driver who will be setting a lap is XD Storm, so we'll keep an eye on that. Turn the cars down well loud. Are they really loud? I'm sorry if they are. Player cars. Is that the one? No, that's my car. Other cars. Is it a 5? Master volume. Okay, there we are. What about 7? Do you reckon that'd be alright? Let's try 7. Okay. Hopefully this works. So, XD Storms then. Intermediate tyres for the first few runs. May get dry at the end. I'm not sure what the weather is looking like. 6, 7. So, into turn 1 then. Goes XD Storms in the Alpine, the first driver to settle that he will be in this session. Draining now down into turn number 4. Let me just quickly get a track map up. I do apologise. There we go. Okay. Heading now up the hill into this fast left-hander of turn 4. Really, that's turn 4? Oh, never mind. Turn 5 then. For XD Storm, still obviously falling of rain today. Hopefully it dries up for the race, but we'll see. We could have a wet race today in Tier 3, which is quite interesting in F7 here. XD Storm's through sector 2, tight, twisty section. You've got to get every corner right, nice and smooth. Got to get the traction control perfect if you want to get a good lap. Draining a lot of battery here as the Alpine, and 1 minute 3 is the split for the middle sector. Thank you, Keelan. Through the final sector then. Final 2 corners, turn 13 and 14. 2 tight hairpins, you've got to get the exit nicely here. Heading now onto the final straight. Can the Alpine get a decent lap here? It's been a decent lap so far. What is going to be the time to beat for everyone else? So 29.4 is the first lap in their session. That is the time to beat. Forza Ferrari goes just over a second off of a 30.7, and inhale. The Mercedes comes across line 31.2. Podge a 30.7. Times are flying in fast here. The Aston Martin of Mohi is on a lap now. The other Red Bull, Tony, also starting a lap. We now join the other Ferrari, MB. He's going to come across the line then. It's a bit off the pace, but he's just into P2. Still 6 tenths clear is XD Storms with a great lap. That really was just there. Nathan now starting his lap. We now join Bulldog on an out lap. Jeneth will be the next to come across the line with a lap time. 31.1 was his first sector time. What is his middle sector like? It's 1.42. It's competitive. It's not going to be a challenge for pole, I don't reckon, but we'll see how he can get on. There's still plenty of time, obviously 13 minutes in the session. We're doing a short qualifying session today rather than a full, just so I can make it. Now Jeneth in the McLaren, rounding the final corner. Nice and slowly trundling around towards the straight now. draining all the battery he's got to a 30.8 to go P5 provisionally. The Sauber of Jay Gullen goes to 29.92, the front row provisionally. And the Haas, oh not the Haas, sorry I've missed it, I can't tell. Uabo goes to P7 with 31.2, who is then joined on the timing ladder by the Red Bull, no, sorry, my mistake. Ifney goes to provisional pole with 28.7, could show that the track is slowly drying up maybe, with almost a second quicker than XT Storms. That's incredible. Let's have a look at the gap to the leader of times now. Lap times are starting to fly in. MB goes to second. The Ferrari front row lockout provisionally. Great drop from the Ferraris. What about Nathan then to the line? Goes P11 with a 31.3. Not too bad from Nathan. We look now down the order. Wobbly Lizard on an outlap. He'll be starting his lap shortly. We'll catch him later. Bulldog then. What can Bulldog do? I'm going to invite Priz, because he wants to join. I don't know if he is online, we'll see. He's not online. If someone else has Priz on EA, if you could add them to the lobby, that would be excellent. It's not showing up for me. Must be like an EA glitch. What about Jay Gunn? He's going to start another lap then in the Sauber. We'll catch up with him as Dave Steves goes to P2 with 28.9. A very strong lap from the Haas car. Very strong from him. What about Umbra goes on an outlap, starting his lap now. V-carb of UD also now starting a lap. Everyone is on track, bar 3 drivers, so it's a very busy circuit right now. Hodge goes up to P6, improved his lap time ever so slightly up to P6. Good lap from him. Jennifer as well, starting a lap now. We'll see how he gets on. A lot of drivers starting to come into the pits now. Ready for those last dance in qualifying. Nathan's on the grass there. Not sure what's up there. Wobbly Lizard on a lap. It's a decent lap as well, just looking at the middle sector split time. Coming around the final corner, turn 14. What can Wobbly Lizard set? It's a good lap so far, to be fair to him. It's a 29.4, jumps to P4, it's a great lap. Very good lap from him. What about James? He's going to come around the final corner now. Through, he goes to the line, it's provisional pole position with a 28.6 in the Atlassian Williams car. A great lap from James to jump up to provisional pole. We now look to Jay Gullen, who's also on a lap, and he's 6 tenths up. This could be a strong lap from Jay Gullen. Goes to P3, 28.8. Lap time is really starting to ramp up now with the track improving every second. What about UD then? Still yet to set a lap. This is going to be his first one, because it is a valid lap so far. And it's a 29.5, jumps to P8 in the V-carb. Strong lap from him. We now look to Jenna coming to the pits now, as well as the Red Bull of Forza Ferrari and that V-carb of Hodge coming to the pits. We join now the Alpine of Wobbly Lizard, who's coming into pits. He won't be up on his time. No, he's not. James the same, not up on his time. There's no one on actual laps right now, I don't think. I might be wrong, hang on, I'm just checking. No, no one on laps. As DRS is enabled then for the final part of qualifying. Let me see if I can get Priz in. There we go. Priz is in then. I've invited Priz. Hopefully he'll join in time. Okay, as we join the Alpine of XD Storms. He's coming into the pits then. Could we see some? We are. Look, we're seeing slick tyres. We look at the tyres. Slicks are the optimal tyre currently, according to these drivers. So we'll see how they can get on. No one has set laps, like set time lapse on the Inters just yet. But we'll see how they get on. UD is on track, but he's going to be coming into the pits. Loads of drivers on outlaps. Look at this. As Priz has now joined, hopefully he can get some time to get a lap in or two. We now join Priz's teammate Mohi in the Aston Martin. He's going to be the first driver to set a lap on slicks, so he's going to be the real tester for everyone basically. Let's go on board this lap with the Aston Martin and Mohi to see what he can do on the soft tyres. Lots of people are gambling to go early and it's very deep in turn 1. Track 50 is still wet in places, but it has stopped raining by looks of things. I'm trying to get a little bit of a toe of that heat up there. Mohi going really deep, it must be quite hard to control. Down into turn 4 they go now. And the Aston Martin is a purple first sector by a second. So he's a second off on his time, so it probably is time for slicks by looks of it. But Mohi is going to be the pace setter as, no. Yeah, sorry, okay. Mohi now through into section 2 then, heading into turn 8. Through these right, then left, and then right again. It's such a tight 50 section 2. Very difficult to execute. Through the middle section splits at 1 minute point 4. This is a very good lap for Mohi, and it is showing that it is going to be provisional pole by looks of it, and the soft looks like the optimal tyre from now. You'll see the laps flow in, but we're still on board with the Aston Martin in 13th position currently. I reckon this could be quite simply a pole position provisionally. Obviously lots of guys behind him. To the line then, Mohi in the Aston Martin. There's 4 seconds clear, 24.5, and that is provisional pole for the Aston Martin. Podge starting a lap now. We look to the Ferrari of Ifni, who is on soft, but he's on an in-lap, I think he is, so he won't be improving on his time. What about the Mercedes of Inhale? Rounding turn 14 now is Inhale. What can he set? Can he make... Oh, he goes off the track there, just wide, somehow keeping that in the track limits, but he is 8 tenths off the pace slightly. What about Uabo? Goes to provisional pole with 24.1, a strong lap from him. Very strong lap now, as NMX James starting a lap as well. The Alpine of XC Storm starting a lap now, as Dave goes to provisional pole by a solid 9 tenths. Followed by Bulldog, who goes 5 tenths clear. What about the Sauber of Jay Gullen, who's going on a lap now? MB jumps up to P2. Great lap from him, only just under a tenth off of Bulldog, so strong lap from him. Umbra Ghost now, what can he do in the McLaren? He jumps to P4, a second off the pace. Not too bad from him. Forza Ferrari goes to 3rd. Then the other McLaren's coming along. Genef starting a lap now. What about the Red Bull of Tony starting a lap? The V-Carb of Podge is finishing a lap now. What can he do? Then the V-Carb jumps to P1. 1 second clear of the rest. What a lap from Podge. He will take that across. Mohi maybe doing another lap here, and Priz, who is in the lobby now, is also starting a lap, so we'll keep an eye on that one. The V-Carb of UD starting a lap. The Alpine of Wobbly Lizard also starting a lap now. Mercedes of Inhale, is he on another lap? I think he might be, you know, he is. Inhale is on another lap, and he goes to P4 this time. Not on the pace of his teammate, 3 tenths off him, but still a great lap. NMX James goes to provisional pole with second clear now, and XC Storms goes a further 5 tenths. The lap times are really flowing in here as Dave now goes to P3 with 21.0. It's getting so close out there, but lap times are just flowing in rapidly. Now what about Jay Gullen to the line? He is invalidated his lap, so no improvement there. Umbra Ghost is going to be starting another lap now. He's put enough fuel in. Here he goes then. He does go faster, but I don't think he was planning on doing that, as Genef now goes to P4 with a 21.0. What about the Red Bull now? Oh, Tony comes to the line. He goes to provisional pole by a landslide. 2.3 seconds clear of the rest. Oh my word. What about Mohi now? Goes 2.2 off of that. And Priz goes to the line. He goes P3. That is a landslide gap from Tony in the Red Bull. An incredible lap from him. We'll keep an eye on that then. As Storm is on a lap and is purple in the middle sector. Wobbly Lizard is teammate goes to P2. 1.4 off of Tony's lap still. Shows how good that lap was. What about XC Storm coming to the pits then? So no improvement for him. The Williams of NMX James also entering the pits. What about the Sauber then? Jay Gullen. Is he on a lap? I think he is on a lap here. He's 7 seconds off on his lap, so this could be a good lap from the Sauber here. Well, keep an eye on it. Here we go, to the line. He jumps to P2, a second off, 9/10 off if you want to be precise, to the Red Bull of Tony with a very strong lap. He jumps to the front row of the grid provisionally, but lap times are going to start to flow in very quickly in a second as Umbra Ghost, the McLaren teammate, goes to third place. But it shows how good of a lap that was from Tony. Whether he will hold, whether that will just be pole position as it is, or whether he will improve from that lap, be quite difficult to. It was such a good lap. Everyone entering the pits now. Let's have with 2 minutes to go from the chat. Quick prediction: who is going to be on who is going to be on pole position for round number 8 here in Hungary for Tier 3? What do you all think, guys? So as we're watching Nathan on an out lap, starting his lap now. Tony, I agree. I think Tony's that lap. That lap might even be pole itself, but we'll see how everyone gets on. Iwabo also starting a lap. The Alpine of Wobbly Lizard starting a lap as well. So there are some guys that are going out now, starting their lap, rather than waiting until later on in the session. They go and coming into the pit. But Ghost is on a lap. No, he's not. He's charging up. Will he come to the pit here, I reckon he will. No, he doesn't. So Umbra Ghost is going to carry on. We'll catch up with that in a moment. But let's look down the order. It's going to be Nathan and Uwabo who are going to be setting up. Uwabo's abandoned that one, and so is Nathan. So everyone, there's no one on an actual time lap right now. We're just waiting for drivers to come around and finish their out laps. I don't know who the first one will be. It probably will be one of these Ferraris. I don't know which one it is. It is MB. So MB, what can he set in the Ferrari? Let's go on board with him, shall we? Oh, Forza Ferrari's also on a lap. My mistake, I didn't see him there. We'll go on board with Forza Ferrari then. He'll be the first driver to set a time lap in the final stage of qualifying in the Red Bull. He came out early. Get that lap done. Invalidated. His time's up. Will he be able to get around again? It looks like he probably will. What about MB in the Ferrari? It's Aston Martin. It's going to get in a spot of bother here. He's got to try and get around to the line. But MB is not going to like this at all. He's keeping 3 up. Sorry. Okay, MB then in the Ferrari. He's been let by that Aston Martin in the end. Master volley done to 5. I'm going to do that quickly now. There we go. Hopefully that's better for you. As Umbra goes to P1. He was on a lap and I did miss it. I do apologise. It's a 17.7. Everyone who's just stayed in the pits won't be improving. Forza Ferrari hasn't made it, sadly. So Umbra goes on provisional pole currently. Is that better now for you guys? I hope it is. What about MB then? Coming to the line then. Oh, I picked off him by accident. He goes to provisional pole with 16.2. 1.4 clear. Inhale goes to P2. Great lap from him. The Aston Martin has obviously not made it. What about the Williams now of NMX James to the line? He goes P2 himself with 4/10 clear. XD Storms goes 4/10 clear further. The Aston Martin hasn't made it. What about Dave in the end? He goes to P2. I just missed that. Dave goes P2. 1/10 clear of, no, 1/10 shy of pole position. The Sauber of Jay Gullen can't improve on his lap. What about the Alpine now of Wobbly Lizard? He's going to be next to come across the line. Coming across the line and draining everything he's got. He stays P8. No, he jumps up 1 position. What about the V-Cub now of UD goes to P6. Jennifer, goes to P7. Ferrari of Ifni goes to P2. Great lap from him. He joins Storms on the front row. What about Umbra Ghost? He's going to be the last, and that is qualifying. Sorry, I couldn't keep up with it all. So many laps are coming in, but XD Storms just narrowly grabs pole position in the Alpine off of the Ferrari of Ifni. Excellent qualifying. Our predictions of Tony didn't last long. He went down to P10 in the end. Dave comes home for P3 with a great lap from him, as the other Haas of Abhishek has just joined to make it a full lobby for the race. That is lovely to see. So it's Ifni, followed by Dave, MB in the Ferrari. Great qualifying for the Ferrari boys. NMX James P5, Inhale P6, UD P7, Umbra Ghost P8, I can't remember the other two for the top 10. My mistake. Time trials are 16.2. So that's your grid then. The top 10 is Jennifer, Umbra Ghost, and Tony following on from that. Wobbly Lizard P11, Jay Gullum P12, Mohi P13, Priz 14, Podge 15, Bulldog 16, Forza Ferrari P17, Uabo P18, Nathan P19, and Abhizek joining late, doesn't get a lap in, and he'll start from the back of the grid. So that's qualifying then. How comes it being tier 3? Is he tier 2? I didn't invite him, must mean someone else. If he's tier 2, I doubt he'll be able to race. Abhizek. My lap's 16.2. Well, I mean, that's a good lap. I mean, like, 16.2 time trial is pretty good, actually. Abhizek was moved to tier 3. Ah, I see. So he is allowed to race. Panic over. Abhizek's left the session anyway. I don't know whether to invite him or not. 1 second, guys. Let me just quickly load up something. Whenever I'm streaming, I like to be able to view the championship standings, a track map, and then just have an extra tab on Discord just open, just so I can see if anyone needs invites or anything like that. That's what I like to do when I stream. So I've got that open, all set up, ready for the race. 35 laps, 14 corners of Hungary. We are about to get underway with a formation lap. Good morning, be right. Hope you're well. That was 16.2, but invalidated last corner. Good luck all. Okay, so formation lap is underway then. Let's get the tyres up. Everyone is on mediums then. So we get a lovely helicopter camera on XD Storms. That's lovely. But yeah, good morning everyone. 40 of you in the live. Appreciate you all for joining. We are watching Formula 7 round number 8 in Tier 3 Hungary, Season 12, powered by Sim Racing Setup. XD Storms is your pole sitter, followed by Ifni in the Ferrari, and then Devs in the Haas starts P3. Great lap from him. Yeah, that is weird. I don't know why he left the session and DNF'd him, so he won't be joining. So we have 19 on the grid then, but 20 on the timing ladder. Let me get some stuff up. Telemetry and lap data. Let's get that up. But yeah, like I say, everyone's starting on mediums then. So we'll keep an eye on how that goes. Yeah, this Priz guy does suck. No. Good luck to Priz. Good luck to everyone. Good luck to everyone racing. Definitely some surprises in qualifying. Bulldog, Podge, down the order. Also Ferrari as well, Nathan. But then also the likes of Dave, Storms. They're all great laps from them. Obviously the wet weather in qualifying made it a bit interesting. Quickest DNF ever, Guinness World Record. That is correct. Should be an award at the end of the season for that one. Bear with. Let me sort the chat out. My chat's just bugged. Okay, there we go. So XD Storms will lead us away from pole position. MV misses grid box, and that is now a reset. That's so unlucky. That's the most annoying thing that could ever happen. Missing your grid box. Mohi does the same. But we are about to get underway then for Tier 3 Round 8 in Hungary in F7R, powered by Sim Racing Setups. 5 lights are out. We are underway. It's a quick one in Tier 3. Lots of people getting off the line a bit slowly, but XD Storm holds his ground out in front from Ifni. Dave's alongside Ifni in the background there, and MB also side by side in the background. You can see there, there goes Ifni down the inside. He's tried it. 3 seconds for Jennifer. I don't know what's happening in the background here. They're all bunched up. There's a McLaren off the road, and it's Jennifer who's off in the background. They're all bunched up in the middle here. Look at this, incredible racing in the middle. All side by side they go. Line astern through the sector 1. There's already a huge gap from 5th to the rest of the pack. It's all close in the middle there. As you can see in the middle, 10 seconds for cutting corners. And gaining a place is Wobbly Lizard. That is such a shame. Dropping places in the background there. Off goes a Williams over NMX James. He's off the road in turn 4 with wing damage as well. Not sure what's happened there, but it's a bit of a poor start for some. But out in front, XD Storms has held his ground from Ifni and Dave and MB and Umbra Ghost, the top 5 staying as they were then. Mohi making up the masses of places there. Let's have a look at the position gains. Yeah, 7 places from Mohi. Really getting a good start, but Jennifer and James losing out lots of positions as well as Inhale. But there's yellow flags in the background there. It's Podge. Podge is around. Podge has spun. The V-carb is off the road. And he's down all the way in last. Behind James now. Will he actually? He'll rejoin. And he is behind James. No, he is ahead of James, sorry. But XD Storms then leads us onto lap 2 with 24.4 as the fastest lap. A great start from XD Storms, who held his ground against Ifni here in Hungary. Dave Dev's doing a great job out there as well in the Haas car. Seems to be a track he must enjoy. MB in P4 will be hunting him down the whole time. Looking through the middle here, there goes a Red Bull of Tony on Priz. Side by side they go through turn number 4. Side by side they still go through turn 5. Great racing here in F7R between the two. Oh, a bit of wheel banging there. But the Red Bull of Tony does go ahead of the Aston Martin then into turn 4. Oh, he goes off. Priz goes off sliding. He rejoins nicely and safely, but Inhale right on the back of him now. The two Mercedes going at it then, trying to get ahead of this Aston Martin. Down the inside goes Bulldog on his teammate into the chicane. Very aggressive driving from Bulldog, but sticks behind his teammate in the end. As we look towards the front now, Umbra Ghost still trying to stick with MB and Dave and everyone and co. Podge having a bad day, that you are correct. Looking down the middle then, the Mercedes so close as well as Uabo in the Sauber, very close to the back as well. XD Storms does lead us onto lap number 3 with 19.5 now. He's gapped Ifni, and that will allow Dave to really get on the back here of the Ferrari. Dave's in a bit of a Ferrari sandwich here, don't know what to do. It looks to the middle here again. Priz is going to get the elbows out and try and make a move on the Red Bull. Gullen and Tony as well ahead of them. Side by side, Priz makes that move nice and clean. Into turn 3 they go then. Tony gets aggressive, Gullen goes to the outside and stays behind the Red Bull, and Tony now into the top 9, progressing forward quite nicely. Wobbly Lizard with 10-second time penalty in 8th, just ahead of him. Priz and falls Ferrari, still side by side, banging wheels there, those two. Priz trying to stick it up the inside. Oh, there's contact! Priz is around. He's made contact with Forza Ferrari and he goes around. That allows Inhale to go ahead and Miss Bulldog as well. But Priz now drops to P17. He rejoins just behind Podge, but ahead of NOX James, who's pitted at some point as well. Chaos in the middle here is Inhale, not side by side, trying to hold on to his teammate Bulldog, who is having a poor one as well as Podge and Co. Side by side they go now. Tony trying to go down the inside, aggressive on Wobbly Lizard, down inside into turn number 11. Sorry, that's a great move from him. Excellent stuff from him. We see now on to lap number 4, XD Storms holding his ground, followed by, behind these, the two Ferraris and Dave as well, trying to defend and attack at the same time. As Tony now making up places every single corner it seems, and he's now ahead of UD in the V-car. He's gone from like P10 to P7 in only a couple of corners it seems. You can see this early charge from Tony. We'll see how it gets on towards the end of the race, where he ends up, but he's already quite far ahead of UD and making up places nice and smoothly is the Red Bull, having a great race himself. Looking to the front then, the two Ferraris still sandwiching that Haas car, trying to close in on XD Storms, posing a bit of a challenge for them. Dave doing a great job trying to hold his ground against these Ferraris. Obviously could be strategic work here between the two Ferraris. But we'll see as Bulldog now making a move on Inhale. He's gone off the road, he's rejoined behind Uabo as well. He's trying to go down the inside of Inhale. Side by side they go through the tight, twisty sector 2. Always difficult to get right. Nathan's trying to get involved as well, but side by side Uabo and Bulldog goes ahead. And he's now trying to go back, he's going to be back in the position he was already at the start of the lap basically. As Priz has gone off, Priz had a moment in the grass there and he's got wing damage as well after that. Ifni and Co and Dave and MB, they're all closing in slightly on Storms as Tony gets the fastest lap. So he's really showing his pace here as Tony early on. Really lighting up the track, some may say. We'll keep an eye on him. He's got to try and get past Mohi if he wants to get into that top 10 battle. Now Bulldog into turn number 1, the infamous corner to make the move. It's one of the easiest on the track, probably the easiest to make a move. And Bulldog has made it nice and cleanly on the Mercedes teammate of Inhale. As Priz gets a 10-second for speeding in the pit lane. It's a disaster race for the Aston Martin. Not looking good at all for him. His teammate though, out in front in P6, doing a great job for the team. Priz now does fall behind James as well. If you look in the middle then, UD leading a bit of a mini train of Wobbly Lizard and Jay Gullen. I don't know why I call him Joe there, I'm not sure his real name, but we'll call him Jay Gullen for now. Looking at the front then, it is still this little trio, the two Ferraris and the Haas, so it's a three-way battle Ferrari engines. Good morning, Nick. Hope you're well. Hope everyone's well and having a good morning. As UD and Wobbly Lizard trying to make a move, there is Wobbly Lizard and he's made it on the V-carb, nice and smooth. Now look to the front then, will Dave try and make a move? He's going to go round the outside of the Ferrari of Ifney, trying to break the Ferrari sandwich is the Haas car. He's going to get a double dosing of DRS, a bit squirmy on the exit there. But is he going to try and make a move on the Ferrari? He does just sit behind for now. Ifney defends that quite nicely to hold ground. Uabo on Inhale, trying to make a move as Inhale goes off the inside. A nice little switchback on the Sauber. But double dosing of DRS for the Sauber. He's going to go up the inside of turn number 3. Very deep into the corner. That's going to allow Inhale to go with a switchback on the Sauber. And he does have to yield now, does the Sauber, as Nathan's going to get involved. Try to go round the outside of turn number 4. He does just lift off in the end, in the Williams. Yeah, it's a fun track. It is a fun track to watch as well. Not much overtaking on the middle of the track, but in like turn number 1, turn number 3, they are your key opportunities to make a move, but we can see the odd opportunities as well, like into this corner here, turn number 12. Tony is right on the back of Mo here. Tony's had an incredible race so far. Doing a great job after a poor qualifying result for him in P10. He's trying to go round the outside here of Mohi. He's going to get opportunity, but look at the front then. XD Storms has now lost that gap, but as Tony now does make the move on the Aston Martin. We look to the front then. Dave's under pressure from MB. MB's going to try to go round the outside here on the Haas. They've committed to the outside line, and there's contact. There's contact between the two. They drove themselves into the wall. MB and Dave has made contact in turn number 1 as there goes Aston Martin off onto the grass. He does get ahead then of MB, but it was off the road, and I'm sure that's a horrible moment for the Haas and Ferrari breaking the sandwich. That's chaos then in turn number 1. Bit of contact between the two of them. That allows Umbra Ghost to go into the podium position, and Tony up to P4 now. He's doing such a good job as Tony. From P10 on the grid, he's up to P4 already. Jay Gullen gets a 3-second time penalty for track limit warnings. But a big accident then in turn number 1 between Dave and MB. Not great to see. But it shows hard racing, but it's not the hard racing we want to see. We want to see the clean hard racing. Maggi, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that, mate. As we look now towards the middle of the pack, Dave is now trying to get back ahead of MB, and then they've got Mohi to get through as well now. The Aston Martin doing a great job out there. We look to the front then. Ifney's putting XD Storms under a bit of pressure. He's going to go down the inside. He's going to think about it, but not in the end. Umbra Ghost then trying to defend from Tony. As there's yellow flags in the middle there, it's Nathan who's gone off. He's got back going again nice and cleanly. Look to the front then. Ifney trying to fight XD Storms, Umbra Ghost as well. Looking in the middle here, Wobbly Lizard and UD side by side as well. MB and Mohi. Mohi tries to go round the outside of MB. He's going to hold it. They're going to stick it on the grass slightly. Is MB in the Ferrari? He's going to get the inside line here. That's the optimal line. Mohi tries to stick it around the outside. He's gone off the track. It's a good move, but it is off the track. I'm not sure if he'll have to give that back or not. I don't know what the game will say. That's going to put Dave right on the back of them as well. We'll keep an eye on this. But looking in the middle, there's overtakes and battles going on everywhere. Inhale leading this train of 4. Yeah, Jennifer had a mistake earlier on. Maggi, little mistake earlier on lap 1 or lap 2, I think. Podge as well having a bit of a poor race himself. It's unfortunate for them. Obviously, I gave him driver of the day 2 weeks ago in Saudi Arabia when I streamed that race. He did a great race from him. But today, not so, sadly. But look at this. Umbra Ghost versus Tony. It's a lot closer this time round. Tony's going to try and get the exit that he wants. He's going to make a big send possibly into turn number 1. They go side by side into turn number 1 off board of Tony now. Broadcast camera, Umbra goes switching to the inside, but he can't get through on Tony, and double dosing for Tony will make it a lot harder, as Ifni now trying to sit behind MB, getting overtaken, Mogi, sorry, getting overtaken by MB. As we look to the, wrong button. Bulldog getting ahead of right, off goes Yudi. Big mistake from the V-Carb, that is very unfortunate. In 3-second time penalty for Ifni in the middle there. As overtakes going everywhere, Dave's getting ahead of Mogi then in turn number 4 as we look down the pack. Battles going on side by side, go Inhale and Uabo, contact slightly there. But Inhale is going to hold his ground then against the Sauber. Jenif just sitting behind this battle as well. Is the volume all okay for you guys? It was a bit questionable earlier on, I did change it. Hopefully it's all okay now. Let me just have a quick drink break. I hope the volume is all okay. 40 of you in the live, thank you everyone for watching. Remember, if you want to join the Discord, !Discord in the chat, and it will send you a link personally to the server. I think it works. I think it is ! I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Now, XD Storms on the defence. Thanks, Nick. XD Storms on the defence from Ifni. Ifni goes down the inside. It's aggressive into turn number 1. Making the move. Switch back from the Storms. A bit of contact on the exit. Ifni's going to get the double dosing of DRS, which will allow him to stay ahead. Great racing here in the middle, in the front of the pack. Podge now trying to get ahead of his teammate Yudi, who's in the pits. It's an early stop from Yudi. He'll have a long way to go if he wants to go to the end on those tyres. We'll see how he gets on. Battling in the middle then. Yudi has damage, I think. Oh, did I miss that? Yeah, he's changing his wing. Sorry, I missed that. He is changing his wing, so damage has been picked up by the V-Carb. That's unfortunate for him, as we now look to the front of Tony now. To add to his incredible race so far, he's on the back of the leading battle. From P10 on the grid, only 10 laps it takes him to get onto the leading back. His pace is strong. He's got the fastest lap currently in this race as well, I believe. He definitely had it at some point, whether it's been taken, I can't remember. But Tony driving a great race so far here. This front 3 posing some great racing here in F7R. In Tier 3. Remember, obviously, have got at 12:30 today the Tier 2 race, 3 o'clock on this account as well. We have Tier 4, and then later tonight, the best of the best, Tier 1, at 7 o'clock tonight on this account. So we look to the middle here, there is racing going on, battles, right end plate damage for UD. But he is out on track now in P18, ahead of Priz, but behind James. To have a look at the stop, shall we, everyone? The bottom 5 have pitted, all pitted, apart from Nathan, who's 16th. We look now to Podge and we get the penalties up. Okay, Jennifer falls and fries in the pits. It's normal, no wind change, as well as Mercedes and Inhale and Wabo also following him in. So it's early stops early on, but we could see some drivers go to the end, or even 2 stops could be an optimal strategy for some. As drivers are very spread out now, it seems. Nice and spread out. But out with the pits then, it does come. Falls a Ferrari in 15 ahead of Yudi. Inhale and Uabo coming up behind Yudi. But as we look through the pack then, not really any battling going on. So I look to the front, sorry I missed that. Not really any battling going on when I say that. And at the front then, Tony is trying to get ahead of Storms. Ifni is ahead now of Storms. I think he was ahead anyway. Yeah, he was. He was ahead of Storms. And he is gapped him as well. So it must have been a mistake from Storms there, I'm pretty sure. But now he's got to get on the fence as Uabo gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. As now, here comes Ifni into the pits, and Storms is going to defend Tony here. But Tony then is going to be your new race leader on lap number 12 then. Getting ahead of XD Storms, nice and simple for him. But he's ahead now and into the lead in the Red Bull from P10 on the grid. In 12 laps, he has charged all the way up to the lead, which is incredible from him. Ifni's going to come out just in that gap, lovely gap between Wobbly Lizard and Podge. That's a lovely gap for him to push on now and try and get an undercut on Tony and Storms. We'll see how that gets on for him. But looking through the middle, there's hardly any close battles except for Forza Ferrari and NMX James. Forza Ferrari trying to get an aggressive move. Around the outside, he's going to go into turn 1, which will just lead into a simple overtake into turn 1 on the Williams car. doing a good job here for the Ferrari. One of the leaders of the pit stoppers, I think, apart from Ifney. I think he is. No, Jay Gullen has pitted, but he pitted early on, so we'll see how he gets on. Looking through the middle here, if you look on the track map in the bottom right corner, oh, there's a moment! It's XD Storms who's gone off. And Umbra Ghost now goes into P2. Every time I say not much is going on, something happens. Almost like a commentator's curse. But look at Tony, he's 5 seconds clear already. He's completely gapped Storms and Umbra Ghost. Doing an incredible job for the Red Bull team. Umbra Ghost does go into P2 as XD Storms now does pit off those medium tyres. MB and Dave, it's almost like it was earlier on, but they're in different positions now. Don't have Ifney involved as well in this little battle. But it's looking good for Dave and MB, doing a great job, the two of them, having a nice battle themselves. Ifney making himself up into P6 ahead of Wobbly Lizard now. As Storms comes out, he's going to come out quite far behind actually. I don't know if he changed his wing. He must have changed his wing. He came out so far behind Ifney. Yeah, he must have changed his wing. Jennifer there, I think, has got wing damage. I might be wrong. Yeah, he's got wing damage. Jennifer in the McLaren's got wing damage. That might be why his race has been affected so much. But he's trying to battle Podge here in the V-Cub. Tony's doing a solid job. Nice over hits, getting through, no damage and stuff. Yeah, he's doing a great job, Nimmelcat. He's doing a really good job. He does look to be 2 turns that faster than everyone else. That probably helps. And as off goes the Williams and Nathan. And another moment in this race. I mean, a poor one for the Williams driver, sadly. Such a shame for him in P18 now, only ahead of Priz. He's done a really poor race. Obviously, he's won a couple of races in Tier 4 as Priz, and he's now down in last in Tier 3. Maybe not liking the switch up of tiers, we'll see. XD Storms and Jennifer. Oh, the Jennifer goes off. He's off into the grass, and that's allowed Jay Gullen, Storms, and Podge and Lizard all to get ahead of him. Pretty much a free overtake for them. We look towards the front then. Umbra Ghost is going defensive on MB and Dave. Dave and MB have showed great pace earlier on. Whether they can hold it down, try and stay ahead of the whether they can stay ahead, get ahead of the McLaren, it will be a different question. As we look to the middle now, look at the Sauber of Jay Gullen go down the inside of Podge and XD Storms. XD Storms defends it well. Jay Gullen then sits in P8. And Podge now falls to P9 as there's pit stops galore. NM Exchange losing out to Bulldog there. And Yudi trying to get on the aggression as well as Inhale. Uabo 16, Wobbly Lizard coming out in P17. He'll be just ahead of Priz and Nathan as Nathan comes into the pits now. But Tony controlling this race, 8.5 seconds clear now. Only 2 laps to go. He got into the lead. I don't know what on earth Tony's been fed for breakfast this fine Sunday morning at 10 in the morning, but he's on fire here in Hungary. Wonder what he did have for breakfast. Could be fueling him on, but we'll see. Yeah, will Ifney's hards last again? That's the question. If you look at the tyres then, Ifney is 2 laps old hards. Priz gets another 3 second, but Dave now making a move on MB, as MB does pit for a tyre swap. We look to the middle here. Dave's now got to put the pressure on Umbra Ghost. Umbra Ghost defended well from B2. Lots of strategies. Yeah, you're right, Adam. Lots of strategies. As XD Storms gets the fastest lap, he's in a bit of clear air now to just control this race. As we look to the middle here, big battle going on between NM Exchange, Yudi and Inhouse, side by side. No, not side by side, they go. As we look to the middle here, Ifney getting a move done on Dave. He's gone around the outside and he's gone off the track slightly. Yeah, 15 laps on mediums. A lot of people are still like Tony, Umbra Ghost, Dave. They're all on mediums for these laps since the start. Yudi making a move on Dave there. Side by side they go. Can NM Exchange hold on? He's done a great job to hold on, but Yudi is going to be all over him as well as Inhale as well. He's just on the back of this. We look to the front now as Ifney does get the move on Umbra Ghost, and he's now setting sail. Try and catch on to Tony, who still hasn't pitted and is still 10 seconds clear. As I say that, he does come into pit, but 10 seconds clear is incredible. So into the pit does come the race leader then. So if Ifney stays out, he is going to be the new race leader then. Like you say, a mix of a bunch of strategies, but Ifney has decided to pit earlier, and he is now into the lead of the race by quite a margin as well from Tony. He's going to have to try and defend him when he does close in, if he does. But yeah, we'll see. Lots of good racing going on here. As Storms now goes into P2, just ahead of Tony. So Tony's got to get past 2 drivers now if he wants to get his win converted. Jay Gullen goes P4, MB5, Umber goes P6, but Dave right on the back of him on the pit exit. Forza Ferrari and MB going ahead of them. So close on the exit between these 4. SRL Bulldog and Forza Ferrari, Umber Ghost and Dave. Ooh, very close together on the pit exit. We look also very close here in the middle here. It's again Yudi's battle. Oh, down the inside goes Mohi. It's an aggressive lunge. A very aggressive lunge from Mohi, but it does get it done. Yudi's got P12, Inhale P13, still stuck behind that B cub. And then Uabo just slipping in to P14, trying to catch onto the back of this. Podge versus Wobbly Lizard for P15, the last points position on track. No DNFs today. It's been incredible racing, this one. Been a great race to watch myself, and I'm very privileged to be able to watch it. But look how close it is in the middle here. If you look at Dave trying to go round the outside of Bulldog, they are battling away, these 4. It's a great battle between these 4 as Dave now does go side by side with Bulldog, and Dave goes down the inside of Bulldog and holds position and goes to P8 then, as he's now set sail on Umbra Ghost and Forza Ferrari, who is leading that train of cars. Tony's got his work cut out if he wants to get back into the lead then. He's on hard tyres to the end of the race, you'd have thought. As look, Umbra Ghost then side by side for Forza Ferrari, trying to lead the train now as Umbra Ghost, and he does get ahead of the train leader, and he is now into the lead of the train. As NMX James side by side with Mohi. Mohi's trying to go round the outside here of James with a great move round the outside from the Aston Martin. A great overtake on the Williams of James. James has been leading that train for a few laps now, and he is into the lead now of this train. And P10, the top 10 positions covered by lots of different teams. Ferrari are doing a great race for their constructors battle. Red Bull as well, Forza Ferrari and Tony all in the top 7. There's great racing going on here. As look at Jay Gullen versus MB. It's a close battle in the top group. Trying to keep an eye on the track map as well to see if there's any racing going on in the middle of the track where I can't see. But MB and Jay Gullen will keep an eye on this. Will Jay Gullen go for an aggressive send into turn 13? He does. And Jay Gullen goes off the track. So MB goes ahead. Jay Gullen will pick up DRS as well now. And he does go ahead. Chelsea fan, Nick. Are you? Or do you said Chelsea in a different way? I don't know. Trying to engage this now. Forza Ferrari and Dave side by side. Dave does get ahead then. Oh, you just need Arsenal to do. I'm a Tottenham fan myself, so I'm going for a bit of pain in the football world, but hopefully we can get a win today against Fulham. It'd be hard, but I can't believe I said that's hard. Bulldog side by side then into turn number 4 with Forza Ferrari. Side by side they go Mercedes versus Red Bull. Feels like 2021 all over again. But the Mercedes does come out on top, the opposite of what happened in 2021. Bulldog comes out ahead of Forza Ferrari. Tony now is in DRS range of XD Storms. Yeah, and Fulham and Tottenham. Righty. Fulham and Tottenham. Okay, back off topic. I'm going off topic. Forza Ferrari versus Mohi for P9 and 10. Side by side they go. Mohi's getting really aggressive today. He's gapped NMX James on that train, and he's now ahead of Forza Ferrari. Mohi is making up some incredible ground, as well as Tony. There's a lot of drivers making up great ground in this race. It's really impressive to watch. As we now look to the front then, Tony is so close to the back of Storms now. He's right on the back. He's got to get past Storms as quick as he can if he wants to make that charge on Ifney, who is 9 seconds clear of the rest now. Doing an excellent drive himself. Coming down the middle there, the Williams of James now is into the pits. The new leader of this train is Yudi, followed by Inhel, Uabo and Podge. Ifney is clear of everyone. It says yellow flags, and you say that, and Ifney's had a moment. I think it was Ifney, or it might be Nathan. It's either Nathan or Ifney. We'll have a look at the gap. It is Ifney. Ifney's had a moment here. He's got grass on the screen. Ifney has had a big moment. He's lost like 3 seconds to Storms and Tony. So that makes Storms and Tony's race a lot easier. 3 seconds they have made up from that mistake. If and Storms have got penalties, Tony doesn't. That's his advantage now. But great racing here in F7R, Tier 3, Round 8 in Hungary, powered by Sim Racing Setups. Did a great job. It's a great battle between UD. He's leading this train of 4 cars here. Doing a great job. Hodge right on the back of Uabo, and then Uabo right on the back of Inhale. We'll keep an eye on that. Mohi trying to get ahead of Bulldog. Mohi's making up some great ground. I've said it multiple times. He really is. As we look to the front then, Tony's a lot closer this time to the Alpine of Storms. He does just sit behind this time. Wait for a better chance later on in the race. Still got 16 laps to go if we include this one. So plenty of time and no rush to make a move. Bulldog trying to make a move on Mohi, but Mohi has got ahead of Bulldog. And Mohi does hold position as Podge now side by side with Uabo in the train, trying to break the DRS train a bit here. Inhale's got to try and defend. He's got no DRS on the back of UD anymore. But Podge, UD's teammates, trying to get ahead of the Mercedes. There's a poor race for B-Cup today. We'll see. 1 second, I just have a drink break. Drink break. Spurs have won more trophies than Arsenal. It's a lovely thing to hold. 3 seconds for Uabo now. But as we look in the middle here, as Umbragos has gone off. Umbragos has spun. Oh no, the McLaren driver is trying to get back on the road. Obviously no reset to track in this. Yes, guys are hopeless. He's going to come onto the track, he's going to come right back onto this horrendous train. He's going to join the back of it now. But here is Tony then on the back of Exisons. He's a lot closer this time. He's going to drain a bit of battery. Never mind, he's not. He's not going to listen to me. He's going to wait around again for another chance. As Dave now going to make a nice swift move around the outside into turn number 1. Jay Gullen trying to hold his line aggressive. Around the outside goes Dave. And Dave completes the move. Lovely move from him. But Jay Gullen still fighting it hard. Turn 3 they go now. Still side by side. Jay Gullen trying to hold his ground. But in the end, Dave does go into P5, and now he sets his sights. 9 seconds clear of him is MB in the Ferrari. We'll keep an eye on him as he tries to make that charge. As Uabo now versus probably Lizard as pit stops then for Inhale and Umbragos. Umbragos might have picked up damage, I think he has. Inhale as well pitting, for maybe trying to two-stop. Poor manager in 1 season as well. Yeah. Forest have been a bit in the manager market, haven't they? Marinakis is... I think it's all Marinakis' fault. we're taking this slow off topic, what am I doing? XE Storms versus Tony. Tony's a lot closer this time. And Tony now side by side, down into turn number 1 they go. Tony then is into P2. The charge begins on Ifney. 6.3 seconds he's got to gain on Ifney in the next 13 laps. Let's see what happens between those two. As we look now down the pack, they are all quite nicely spread out, but there is a battle between the two V cars. One's a pink, one's a normal. Pod's the normal, UD's the pink. And there's a moment there for the Williams, and I think that's Nathan. Nathan's had another moment there in the middle of the pack. He's just letting pass the 2 cars. Podge now ahead of UD then. He's made the move quite nicely there. Remember, ! Discord. If you want to join the league, type that in the chat and you will be given a link for the Discord. And then you'll be dealt with by one of our admins to sort you out, and we can tier you perfectly. In the middle of the pack then, NMX James, Jennifer and Forza Ferrari having their own little battle for those last points positions. If we look down the middle then, Ifney in P1 is 5.8 seconds now, so Tony has gained about 3 or 4 tenths on Ifney this lap. Right now, if he did that, he probably would be in the battle for the lead. If we don't count the 3-second penalties, then yeah. Yeah, UD and Podge did swap. I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did. I mean, Podge is on... Let's have a look at the tyres, see if there is difference. Yeah, Podge is on a lot younger tyres, so I reckon they have probably swapped strategically. But we'll see. Looking in the middle then, Mohi versus Jay Gullen. Mohi's going to get the DRS and the battery draining down into turn number 1. Mohi's going to try to go around the outside here of the Sauber. He's going to go really deep and really strong down the outside line. and he's going to get the launch on the Sauber, and it's a great move from the Aston Martin to get ahead and into P6 now. He starts his hunt. He starts his hunt down into P5 position. He tries to hunt down Dave. As NMX James now side by side. Yudi's had a moment, he's in the pits. Never mind, he's not had a moment. My mistake. Ifni has lost a lot of time to Tony. Tony's now 4.2 seconds behind. Ifni P1 then, 4 seconds ahead of Tony, but with carrying a 3 second with him. As we look to it's the only battle that's on track is between Forza Ferrari and Jenef. Everyone else is spread by just over a second. As I say that, Ifni is in the pits. He's doing a 2-stop. I got scared then, I thought he made a big mistake, but he's just coming into the pits for a 2-stop. So a real mixed strategy then. Ifni will come out in P4 just ahead of Dave, I reckon. And now his hunt begins on Tony and Storms and his teammate MB as well. He's got to come out ahead of Dave first, and he does nicely. Come out into that lovely gap just behind his teammate. Ferrari are doing an incredible job here today. 3 and 4 in Hungary as Bulldog has a 10 second speeding in the pit lane. That is horrendous for Bulldog's race, and that is 10 second penalty in this pits can just completely ruin the race. I hope it doesn't ruin Bulldog's race, but we'll see how it goes on. All nice and spread out then around the pack, it seems. Nathan in P19 losing places. He's down in last right now, and he's just got to let these back marks through, sadly. Horrible having getting those blue flag signals. It really is. But now side by side, not side by side, battles away for Jennifer Forza Ferrari from 12 and 13. Yeah, there's a lot of pens. If you look down the timing ladder, that's why I got the penalties up. There's a lot of penalties, sadly. There's a lot of warnings. There's MB's had a moment. Oh no, Stormstory's had a moment. Nathan, I think, is letting them through. He has let them through, but MB now goes ahead of Storms. Storms has had a big mistake then in the Alpine. That is such a shame. As into the pits comes Priz, I believe. Yeah, Priz is in the pits. Jennifer making a move on the McLaren of... No, Jennifer's lost out positions to Inhale and Bulldog. I think Jennifer's having a really horrid time with the car. I don't know what's happening. But he's gone off a lot of times in this race. This Jay Golling gets a 10 second speeding in the pit lane. There's a lot of penalties in this race. Yeah, a lot of people don't know track lanes. There's a lot of speeding in the pit lanes as well, I've noticed. There's a few earlier on, people have served them already. Just got to come into the pits a bit slower, a bit less aggressive. You would rather lose like a second coming into the pit lane, I always say, than get a 10 second speed in the pit lane. That's what I always say. Double stack for Sauber, Jay Gunn and Uaba. These pit stops, these alternate strategies are really mixing up. If you have a look at the tyres now, Ifni in this pack, Bulldog as well, Uabo, they're all on really young medium tyres. I'm excited to see an Ifni charge possibly. If we could see it, it would be lovely, because I reckon there's a high chance we could see it. As Nathan lets through the Ferrari of Ifni. His charge really does begin now, really, doesn't it? We've got 10 laps to go, basically. Can Ifni make a charge on the lead? I don't think MB or Storms are going to really challenge Tony right now, but, I mean, you never know. We can see. We'll see. Through the middle of the pack now. Inhale and Bulldog, they've been together this whole race. They've just dropped off of each other now, but Bulldog's trying to fight Forza Ferrari on those new mediums, Bulldog, of course. Bulldog's definitely one of the more aggressive drivers in the tier that I've seen in the past. As Ifni gets ahead of Storm. Storm's made another mistake. And that allows Ifni to get ahead of him to third. There's a Ferrari 2-3 now. Double podium for Ferrari. It's incredible for them. Dave's under pressure from Priz, the back marker. As here comes Jay Gull on NMX James, trying to go round the outside of the Williams car. James getting aggressive on the defence. He's not going to... Oh, there's a moment in the background. Yudi spun it on the straight. He rejoins. Oh my goodness, that was so close to Uabo. That was inches away. As Yudi gets a 10 second for collision with Uabo. Wow. That's a hefty penalty. But it was very close between the two of them. As James now trying to get ahead of Jay Gullen. But Jay Gunn in the Sauber has got ahead into P9. That was so close between Yudi and Uabo. Could have ended quite nastily, and we could have had a safety car there, and that would have really mixed it up. But yeah, exclamation mark Discord or that Nightbot link has just sent a Discord link. If you join that one, it will send you to the server. As NMX Storms gets a 10-second, another 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. This time it's XD Storms in the Alpine as Ifni gets ahead of MB, possibly a tactical switch between them two there. And now it's clear road for Ifni to try and catch the Red Bull. 9.5 seconds in 9 laps. We will see. Yeah, 10 seconds, it was a bit stupid. There was contact, but 10 seconds is hefty. NMX Storms, I think he pitted quite early. I might be wrong. But he's onto another set of hards to the end. I would have got mediums. He obviously might not have any, but mediums would probably be the preferred tyre for him. Priz now on softs. I don't know what he's doing out there. Looking through the middle then, if I come off the tyres and look at the penalties, then you can have a look at the gaps properly. Wobbly Lizard trying to get back ahead of Jay Gullen. Looking down the middle then, Inhale and Forza Ferrari. There's a few battles going on here. We'll keep an eye on the Bulldog. Did get ahead of the Red Bull in the end. 3-second time penalty for Bulldog. 16 seconds now. There's some hefty penalties, like the chat have noticed. Forza Ferrari trying to defend off Inhale in the Mercedes. Tyres offset. There is not much. There's nothing. So it's just raw pace between these two now. We'll keep an eye on as Nathan gets ahead of Yudi, who's coming into the pits to serve that 10 seconds. 28, lap 28 then. No DNF still. It's been an incredible race to watch, I must admit. Just the penalties is a bit unfortunate, but there's always going to be penalties, but this is hefty amounts. Ifni for 3 seconds as well. He's not making much inroads on Tony. Yeah, not getting removed now. Is he going for fast? Let's have a look at the tyres. Yeah, he's probably going to go for fast as that there. On soft to the end. As Bulldog's out! Bulldog's retired in the pits. He got too many penalties, and he's our first retirement of the race. We don't count the Haas car who's retired. Bulldog's retired in the pits. But yeah, Podge has done a great race actually, that's a good point. Recovered that nice and smoothly. I don't know if he's going to have to pit again. Let's have a look at the tyres. He might, yeah, he should be alright. Yeah, and it's going to be long for these hard tyre runners that have been on them for a long time, but we'll see. Bulldog out then. First DNF of the session, that's unfortunate for him. Split to the front, Ifni's just closed in a second on that lap to Tony, so we could still see a late charge. But we'll keep an eye on the gaps. I will do my best to keep an eye on the gaps. Inhale versus Forza Ferrari. P12 and P11 is the battle we're watching now. All running nice and smoothly in the pack, it seems. Oh god. Looking up pack, you can see here, Podge is just trying to no not Podge, Storms is just trying to dispatch some back markers here. Nathan, Yudi and Priz are the names in mind. Actually no, Nathan's further up the road, it's just Yudi and Priz. And he's got Mohi right ahead of him. There's yellow flags. It's Williams, I think it's Nathan again. Yeah, Nathan's gone around again. Really not enjoying this track of Nathan. Really isn't. It's such a shame to see. P18 then, no points on the cards for him at the minute. Same for Priz and Yudi. Everyone else is getting these points on the board. But another second gain from Ifni. I mean, the 3 seconds is a pain in the bum for him. But I mean, I'm going to think of it as a mindset that is not there. And he's just going to make a charge on Tony. We'll keep an eye on that gap. But with 6 laps to go, we could see a late charge. As Storm's here now, getting overtaken by Mohi. I think it was overtaken. We might be trying to overtake Mohi. I can't remember if he was ahead. Storm's going up the inside. It's aggressive from the Alpine here. He's going to go to the outside line of turn 14. Trying to go round the outside. It's a great move from the Alpine. And he picks up DRS at that as well. They got Yudi. He's a lap car right behind them as well. Great racing between the two. As Priz is retired now as well in the pits. Nice and safe, but 2 DNFs then. After I said there's none. There's 2 now, but Mohi is now being dispatched by XE Storm as he's got to try and catch on to Dave, MB, etc, etc. We'll keep an eye, like I've said multiple times on all these battles. But like I said again, another second gained from Ifni on Tony. Tony's got to pace it to the end, but he's also got to be wary of Ifni because he is gaining like a second and a bit every lap now. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's a yellow flags in the middle there. I think it's just Priz's AI coming out of the pits. It is. But looking in the middle there, Uabo versus Jeneth. Jeneth has just lost out to Uabo. As there's a Sauber of Jay Gullen trying to get ahead of Podge, just sticking in that DRS range and trying to. Remember, after this race at 12:30, we have Tier 2, which will be streamed on this account, and then Tier 4 will be later on at 3 o'clock, and then the best of the best. Tier 1 later on at 7 o'clock in the evening, where I'll be taking part myself as well, so you can get people to cheer me on. Jay Gullen versus Podge, P7 and P8. Down into turn 1 we go then. Podge has got to get the defensive, make that car as wide as he can, because Jay Gullen is all over the back of him with Sauber here. On board with Jay Gullen, goes to the inside, a dart to the inside of turn number 1 here in Hungary. And he has made the move, nice and sweet, from the Sauber driver. He gets that double dose of DRS. As NMX James is retired in the pits now. 3 drivers retiring in the pits. Such a shame. I don't know why James did. I mean, he might have picked up lots of penalties, but I mean, yeah. Uabo now to 13, so we are going to see points from UD. Nathan's going to be the only one at the minute with no points on the cards. It's such a shame for him. Looking down the pack, no real close racing, but Ifni again, another second gained. Yeah, I thought that was strange. He could have scored points for sure, but Ifni now, he's really closing this gap down. I don't know if Tony's just managing his time, but if he's got to watch out for Ifni, because he is closing that gap. We could see. Like I say, I'm going to just exclude that 3 second, pretend it's not there. We could see a late charge from Ifni. I'll keep an eye on that for sure. Mohi is trying to catch up to Storms. Jay Gullen is the next one in line, P7, then Podge, and then others. No one within a second of each other. Apart from like the back markers like UD, for example, trying to make a move here on Mohi here. He's just going to sit behind him in the end, not trying to cause any trouble. But it's all line of stone, and no real battles going on now. So we can just keep an eye on this gap for the lead. Ifni's 4.5 now. It is really closing down, so we'll keep an eye on it. Whether it'll be enough, maybe if he had like a lap or 2 more, it'd be a lot more comfortable. But I mean, yeah, he's done a great job, Ifni, today. He's done a really good job. Tony's been excellent today. He's been excellent. He just drove so well, so comfortably. As Jeneth retires in the pits now, so a lot of retirements going on. So Nathan will get a point on the road then, when Jeneth does go behind him. So we are going to have 15 drivers. I'm DNF for 3 seasons, crazy. I don't think I've DNF from an F7 race. I don't think I have, no. Oh no, I did DNF once in Tier 3. That was like almost a year ago now. Seems like a long time ago when I was racing in this tier. But yeah, no real battles going on. I had one DNF, it was in Monaco. I remember it. The hardest track to survive. Podge looking at 6th, and James is out, so going points to get in the Drivers' Championship. Yeah, Podge is doing a good job. If we have a look at the championship then, while we got some gaps in the pack. Have a look at Storms. He's right on the back of Dave here. Podge. Oh, Podge versus James is the battle. I didn't even know that. But yeah, big points for Podge then. Big points for Podge in the championship fight. UD as well, sadly won't be making many points, but Podge, that's a big gain of points. He should be taking the lead of the championship here if he can hold it down, or maybe gain a place or 2. Yeah, if he can gain up to P6, that would be a big effort. But if he can get P8, maybe we could see a new championship leader going into round number 9. Can't remember what race it is next week. Let me have a quick check. Well, we got a gap. As we look at UD and Dave side by side while I'm just checking. Next track next week is Silverstone. Oh, it's in 2 weeks' time. We've got a week break next week, and then it's Silverstone with one 25% race in reverse and the other in normal. I can't wait for that. That's such a great idea to do 25% of each track. XD Storms, then he's got the penalties on the back side of him, but I mean, he's going to make a move on Dave here, but Dave's going to hold it down for T4 anyway. Ifni's charge has been slowed down now on Tony, and Tony's just binding his time now, just relaxing a little bit on Ifni. Ifni's going to keep pushing harder, I reckon, but I don't think he's going to make the move. As Dave loses out now in P5, but penalties You got to think penalties. There's now yellow flags in the middle there, and it is Imber Ghost again. Another spin from the McLaren. It's been a poor day for the McLaren boys. As the Williams and Nathan now, Imber Ghost does just pull out the way in the end there. And get up to speed and time that Nathan's been let through. Top 15, I've got to remember I've got to do a drive today as well, which I'll do at the end of the race. As we are about to go on to the final lap with Tony, we'll keep an eye on it. Look to the middle here, Wobbly Lizard versus Inhale. Inhale has just lost out to Wobbly Lizard in the Alpine. So we have Azumba Ghost is retired now, so another retirement in the pits. That's 5 retirements in the pits now. That's a lot. But no, the final lap of this race, we are about to start. Yeah, we have started, and it is Tony who's leading us onto it. In the Red Bulls, Umbro has left possession now, so we're only going to get 14 finishes in this race, which is unfortunate, because a lot of retirements in the pits, but there's a lot of penalties in this race. If you look at the penalty graphic. But Tony is holding his ground. He's just going to hold on now, I reckon. He won't be getting caught by Ifney anymore. But look to the middle here. It's Inhale versus Wobbly Lizard. Is the close battle on track. We will be able to see down the main straight if Wobbly Lizard can get ahead on the final lap of this race. They are heading on to their final lap, obviously. Tony is ahead of them, and as off goes Uabo. He's joined back on the track nicely. Inhale is going to get a one last chance to make a move on Wobbly Lizard. He's going to go down the inside into turn number 1 here in Hungary. Great move, but Wobbly is going to hold it on the outside here. Are they going to do it side by side they go? I want to watch the final lap of the leaders, but it's going to be still side by side here. I'm going to come back to this, but it is going to be Tony across the line. It's a lot closer along the line, but Tony will win Tier 3, round number 8 in Hungary, followed by Ifney and MB. We'll look to the middle there. The pack and Wobbly Lizard has got ahead then in the end. MB is going to come across the line. An excellent drive from Tony and Ifney. Ultimate strategies from themselves as well. MB will come home for a Ferrari 2-3 and a double podium. That's excellent for their Constructors' Championship. Storms will come in for P4, but Dave will finish in P4 with the penalties applied. Mohi for P6 by looks of things. No penalties for him as well, so it's all clean and he will get P6 in the Aston Martin. A great drive from him. He goes ahead of XD Storms as well with the penalties applied, so it's unfortunate for Storms. He's going to lose out 2 positions. Jay Gullen comes across the line, P7. And then P8 will be Podge, extending his championship fight against NMX James. And it's big points for him as well. I think he might take the lead as well, so we could have a new race leader then in the championship. Wobbly Lizard will come home for P9 along the line. It's a photo finish. And Inhale does finish behind him in the end. Falls Ferrari with the penalties applied, does go into P9. Great battle between Wobbly Lizard and Inhale there, we saw. And Uabo will come across the line for P12 with UD13 and Nathan 14 and 6 DNS. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, appreciate the messages. I've got to do the job of picking a driver of the day. It may seem boring, but I think I've got to give it to Tony in the Red Bull. I mean, he started P10, he provided some great action, great overtakes, and he came home with the right strategy as well. And he came in for P1 in the Red Bull with an excellent drive. I mean, qualifying, he looked like he was going to get pole for first, didn't he? For those that watched qualifying as well, but he ended up P10. But I think I've got to give the driver of the day to him. He's been excellent today. Excellent drive from him, and he does come home from P1 as we watch the podium celebrations now as well. Really great stuff from him. And the 2 Ferraris as well, Ifney and MB. Both drivers, all 3 drivers, sorry, all did a great race. Fastest lap for XD Storms as well. Race winner Tony, driver of the day, and most overtakes for Tony as well. So great stuff from them. So that's your top 10. The top 10 then is Tony, Ifney, MB, Dave, Mohi, Storms, Podge, Jay Gullen, Forza Ferrari, and Wobbly Lizard. For anyone that needs it, I can get the race director on the stream if you'd like. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but this is what I'd normally do. I'd get the race director, and I'd also get pit stops in case people need them for graphics or whatever. But yeah, that is your running order then. The bottom 10, Inhale P11, Uabo P12, UD P13, Nathan P14. Final points position goes to Umbra Ghost. Then Jennifer, James, Priz, Bulldog all round off the final positions in this race. controller kept disconnecting. Cheers, righty. Will happen eventually. Thanks for the word. Good race, great comms editor. Thank you, Alvaro. Thank you. Thank you everyone for the kind messages about the commentary. I do enjoy doing commentary for other leagues as well, so I do enjoy it, and it's a pleasure to be a part of the F7 commentary team now as well. So yeah, I think I end the stream here, but thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope everyone enjoyed that race, because I certainly did. And make sure to join, I can't remember who's doing, I think it might be Mad, right, I'm not sure, who's doing the tier 2 commentary in just over an hour's time at 12:30. But thank you everyone for joining me for round number 8 in Formula 7 racing for tier 3. 10 o'clock in the morning, it's an early start for some, but yeah. Been a great race in Hungary for tier 3, season 12, powered by Sim Racing Setups. Remember, if you want to join the Discord, !Discord in the chat, and it will give you a link. But thank you everyone for watching, and congratulations once again to Tony and the Red Bull for a race win. But thank you everyone, and I will see you hopefully another time in tier 3. Tier 3 is mainly the one I'll be able to do commentary for, but hopefully I can do others as well. See you next week if I am, or in 2 weeks' time at Silverstone if I do get to commentate that. But thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.